All right, well, let's get started. Welcome to today's Globe Observer Connect. I'm Holly Cole, and I'm really excited for today's event. Just as a reminder, we will be recording this event. In fact, the recording is currently on. So if you're uncomfortable with your face being recorded or your voice being recorded, you can keep your camera off and remain muted and put your questions in the chat. If you would like to ask a question verbally, you're also welcome to do that toward the end when we open up for our question section. So today it opens the Soccer World Cup, and it is also the first day of the Globe Cup Challenge. So we are inviting volunteers to show us where the world plays soccer or football. To participate, take a globe land cover observation and show us the site, and then collect air and or surface temperature data for that location. Today's event, Globe Observer Connect, kicks off the Globe Cup Challenge with a science match, land cover versus temperature. And our players today are two scientists who are longtime friends to Globe. Not only are both known for their passion for science and Globe, but also for their passion for soccer or football. They are the perfect people to kick off our Globe Cup Challenge. Dr. Eric Brown de Colstoun is a research physical scientist in the Biospheric Science Lab at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. He studies land cover and land use change and the impacts of urbanization using the Landsat satellite. And he's collaborated with Globe students in the past to measure land cover. Dr. Kevin Czajkowski is from the University of Toledo. He is the principal investigator for the NASA-funded Globe Mission Earth project. His science research uses data from the Globe Surface Temperature Protocol. He also manages the Globe Urban Heat Island campaign. So first I'm going to hand it over to Eric to tell us about land cover, and then Kevin will get a shot at things by teaching us about temperature. So Eric, off to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Holly. And I'm, I was talking to my kids yesterday, and we were saying, "Wow, I can't believe the World Cup starts tomorrow." And so in 3 hours, the games start. And I just remember as a little kid, growing up in Venezuela, like every 4 years, the World Cup was like drop everything. And so I'm so excited to be able to connect. I mean, I've played soccer my entire life, although not as well these days. I'm a lot slower, but it's a pleasure to join everybody and to try to bring in this huge event that's going on in the U.S. and Mexico and Canada with my other passion, which is science and connecting with the public as well to share the NASA science. So as Holly said, I'm a scientist in the Biospheric Sciences Lab, and I study land cover and land use and how it's changing over time, and what the impacts of those changes are on people and nature and vegetation and other systems. And the way we do that is we have the view from space. So NASA has a number of satellites orbiting the Earth, and we're looking at monitoring different aspects of the Earth, and one of which is land cover. And if you don't know land cover, I mean, it's basically the state of the land, if you will. So whether it's dominated by forest or by grass or by urban areas or croplands, so on and so forth. And so why do we care about land cover? Well, I think Kevin was going to tell you a lot about how it impacts temperature, but land cover drives a lot of the interactions between the atmosphere, the land, the water. So, for example, having a parking lot or what we call impervious material does not allow the water to percolate into the soil, and so it runs off. So that would be one example of land cover impacting how water flows off the land. And maybe some of you have done the just passing through activity to inform you and students on what you're doing. Um, So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So what we're trying to do here is to make measurements of land cover or the dominant land cover where you are, and using the Globe Observer app. And then so just one thing to remember. So any kind of field is obviously something that was made by humans, and it's most of them are actively managed, whether you're cutting the grass or putting water into the field, that's a managed land cover as opposed to just a native grassland, for example. So when you're making your observations, think about that kind of stuff. And the other aspect, if you want to, uh, we're asking folks to measure athletic fields, but if there are things nearby that you want to measure as well, please go ahead. And you might find, for example, that an astroturf field, for example, will be very different than from a natural soccer field, for example. But in any case, we'll have a lot of time for Q&A at the end, and I'll pass it on to Kevin. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Eric. Yeah, so I'm Kevin Czajkowski. I'm a professor at the University of Toledo, and I did not play soccer growing up. I played pretty much every other sport. But then when I had kids and they started growing up, they wanted to play soccer and they loved the game. And so, who had to be coach? I had to be the coach because no one else would do it. But I continued coaching, and I coach at the high school level now. And I want to share with you today how, well, I see so many similarities between soccer/football and science. And it's amazing how if you play a sport, that can also help you in learning science as well. So I'm going to share some slides here. Yeah, and as Holly said originally, this was the picture used by Holly and Globe is actually a picture of me. You see my foot's in the picture. But this was an artificial turf field, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. So, I started the surface temperature protocol for Globe, but it all started in 1999. Actually, I was doing a study in Oklahoma and using a prototype infrared thermometer. So this is a few years ago, and that led to some of the work with SMAP and the soil moisture. But for today, for our challenge, we want to use an infrared thermometer for surface temperature and either a liquid filled or a meat thermometer for air temperature. So those are the two things that we're going to use. Of course, your app on your phone. And I also want to mention the infrared thermometer, if the temperature outside is very much different than inside, you should leave your infrared thermometer outside in the shade for about an hour so it equilibrates with the outdoor temperature. Otherwise, it might read improperly. They call it thermal shock. All right, so to use your infrared thermometer, you want to put your arm out here, straight, and point it down. Push the button, and then make the reading, look at the reading, and record it. So some of the things you don't want to do, though, is take the temperature of your shadows. And here's my youngest son. When he was much younger, he's 23 now. And you don't want to take a temperature of your feet. That's why we have you put your arm out straight away from your body and point it down. The other thing is we want you to take measurements of a homogeneous area and take between 3 and 9 when you're using the app. And that way we can get a good average of that homogeneous area. This happens to be of a softball field at a school, but the same goes for the soccer fields. And don't mix the covers. So like if you have, some grass, grass and you have maybe gravel or something like that along the edge of the field, make sure you take all the measurements of the grass itself. Now for the air temperature, we want you to calibrate or check the calibration of the thermometer. That could be the alcohol filled or meat thermometer. So use an ice water slurry, and you have a picture here for an example. And you want to make sure it's quite a bit of ice, but also water. And then the temperature should be about 0 degrees Celsius or 32. So if it's much different than that, well, check your ice water slurry first thing to make sure that's okay. But the second is your thermometer may be off. The liquid filled thermometers get air bubbles sometimes, so that's a problem. So you just want to check, make sure you have a good instrument. Now the infrared thermometer you can check also to make sure it's reading 0 Celsius or within plus or minus 1 degree Celsius of 0. Now here's a picture of someone taking air temperature. I believe this is Sarah, and you want to do it in the shade. So you can use the shadow of your body to do that. That might be the best way to do it out in the middle of the field. And for air temperature, you actually just take one measurement, but you need to make sure that the temperature isn't changing over time. So you'd look at the reading, then wait a minute, then look at the reading again, and then if it hasn't changed much, then you record it. So I'm going to show a few examples of fields I've taken samples of. I live in Michigan, even though I work at the University of Toledo. It's right next to Michigan. So I took 2 soccer fields in Michigan, and then I've been on vacation, and I took a measurement in Colorado and then one in New Mexico. Now you might think that the Michigan fields would be similar to each other, and the out west fields would be similar to each other, but they're actually not, and I'll show you what they're like. So here's our home field for our girls and boys for high school in Ida, Michigan, where I live. It's a grass field. The grass tends to be long. When I took the measurement, it was 20.1 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. And then when I was in Cortez, Colorado, that was a grass field as well. And that was 26.9 Celsius or 80.4 Fahrenheit. It's a grassy field. It's nice bright sunshine in both cases. Now here's a big difference. Our girls played a playoff game at Grosse Ile, Michigan. They have a turf field. You can see how it's painted. And turf is artificial. It has all those little black particles. Temperature at game time was 64.4 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you imagine that? And so all the girls were complaining their feet were hot. So let's contrast that with Santa Fe, New Mexico. I took this measurement yesterday. Here it was irrigated grass. I actually couldn't believe this reading. 16.8 degrees Celsius or 62.2 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm like, it can't be that cool, right? But I touched the grass with my hand and it was really cool. Why is it so cool? Well, it's irrigated grass, so very moist, and it's very dry out here. I think the relative humidity was 7% or something yesterday afternoon. And the sun was beating down, but it's evaporating a lot of water. So evaporative cooling keeps things cool. All right, so yeah, let's go back and just look at some things. There you go. Artificial turf, 64 Celsius. Irrigated grass, 16 Celsius. Huge difference, right? And a lot of schools in the U.S. are going for this artificial turf, and I think it's horrible because it's so hot for the kids. You get heat stroke, that type of thing. Now, the World Cup games are all played on grass. So they don't use artificial turf like in the football, NFL, National Football League in the United States, the American football. Many of the fields are artificial turf, but for the World Cup, they are all grass. All right, I have a couple things to show you about using the app for temperature. So here's the app. You click on data entry, the new observations. Of course, you have to make an account. You have to log in, use your email address, and then choose surface temperature. Okay, you'll have to make a new site, name your new site. Your phone should do the latitude and longitude for you, so you have to, have location on. Then you choose the surface cover, how big your area is. Soccer fields tend to be more than 30 meters by 30 meters. Some are 90 by 90 approximately. They're more narrow than 90 meters, but they're definitely 90 meters long. And then phone gives you the time. Then you click on surface temperature. You have to do the surface condition. Okay, so it has to be dry water. This is something I miss all the time. It's at the very top. And of course, I hope no one has snow, but you could, I suppose, in the southern hemisphere. All right, now for air temperature, similar, you click on data entry, new observation, Then you choose air temperature, and you have your new site location for your field. You have to choose what type of instrument. Liquid filled current temperature thermometer is one. All right, or other, it could be the meat thermometer. All right, and you just enter one observation. All right, and that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much, Kevin and Eric. All right, well, we have about 10 minutes for questions. So, does anybody have any questions you'd like to ask out loud? I haven't seen any go by in the chat.
I have a quick one.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if y'all will do a follow-up after the challenge and kind of look at all the results, maybe another meeting like this.
We definitely could do a follow-up Globe Connect event. We have not talked about that. So I have to ask Eric and Kevin if they're willing to come back, but I think that's a great idea. It'd be fun to come back and reflect on what we've learned.
Great suggestion.
I have a question. Will you be making the slides that you showed? Will you be making them available?
We will be making the recording of this available. Kevin, are you willing to share the slides?
Yes, certainly. Let me email them to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can post those then, or send them out via email when we notify you of the recording.
Holly,
Yes.
Leanna put this in the chat, but I think it's worth sharing as Eric talked about some of the different land cover, but the graphic that Heather Mortimer on our team just put together, I think this is worth sort of showing because Kevin went into a lot of great detail about how to do that, the temperature measurements, air temperature and surface temperature. But I think, and Eric alluded to this in terms of it being like cultivated, like so athletic fields tend to be cultivated, right? So that's that. But I think when people look in the app at this, if you're doing your classifications, I think a lot of people think it's short grass, but if it's a playing field, it actually goes under cultivated and athletic fields. And then something like turf is really more of an urban. It's not really grass, right? It's artificial turf. And then pavement is another one that's going to go under urban there. And then some people may be playing soccer/football on dirt or the beach or something like that. So those actually fall under the barren option of dirt or sandy. So just wanted to point this out because I think a lot of people get confused. They see grass and they think grass, but because it's cultivated, there is actually a special place in the app when you're doing the classifications to mark it as an athletic field as under cultivated. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. There's a question from Nicola about making, there's two fields next to each other, and so I just wanted to provide a suggestion. One of the things, Nicola, like what Kevin said, is we want to make a measurement in as homogeneous an area as you can. So you wouldn't make a measurement of the grass field and the turf field and put them together. You would make one measurement on the turf field and then another measurement on the grass field. Because like you said, if you put the two together, you would have a very warm surface and a cool surface that's evaporating. And then just one quick point to make. So for those who have not used the Globe Observer Land Cover app, essentially what you do is with your phone, you take pictures in the different cardinal directions and then up and down. The app will guide you to the directions. And then, if you want to go through to the end, then you use that information to determine what the dominant land cover is. So it's as simple as that. And, if you need more information on Globe Observer, a lot of the links that are provided would be useful.
Thank you. And Monica has a question about the location. And Sarah, so the issue is that the location is not updating when you go to a site other than the one you typically take data at. And Sarah gave some good tips. Make sure that your location services are turned on for Globe Observer. I know you're able to manage that on an app by app basis, so make sure that location services are on for us. We will not get your location until you open the app and when you go to collect an observation. We don't track people. The other tip I would give you is when you open the app, I don't know if you all can see this, my background might be making things a little challenging. Anyway, when you open the app, tap land cover, go to the new land cover observation, and then you should get a map that loads on the screen. I might have to just turn off my background. You get to see my office for a second. When the map loads on the screen, it should look something like this. There's a little refresh button. It says reset underneath. And it has a little kind of circle thing. You can tap that a couple times to force the phone to get your current location. So you can try that. Now, if that doesn't move, you've enabled location services. You can actually use two fingers to move this map around and adjust. There's a little pin there in the map, and you can adjust the map to get your current location. And so that's a good backup plan if you're not able to get the automated location to work. That will give you your current latitude and longitude, and then you can plug that in when you enter your surface temperature or your air temperature data. And let me go to the home screen. Yes, I want to leave the observation. And you're going to do that from the home screen. Those air temperature, surface temperature is going to be found here under the data entry button, and then land cover is down sorry, I had trouble looking at it through the camera, is down here, right there. So you can use the location from land cover to enter your temperature data if that automated location thing just isn't working for you.
And Leanne asked, we can show how to join a regional team. So this is if you go to the Globe Cup Challenge page, and this is the on the Observer website, but there's the same information is also on the main Globe website. So this is the Globe Cup Challenge page. You can see there's some information about how air temperature, surface temperature, and land cover. We can add some additional resources up here. That brand new graphic, we can add some other resources up here. But you can see down here are the regional teams. So please just join one. So for example, if I click on the North America one, and I'm not logged in, actually I should have been, I'm not logged into my account, unfortunately, right now. But if I were logged into my Globe account, then a button to join here, I should have done that before I started sharing my screen, but a button up here would be to say join team. And so that's how you join the different regional teams. And then I'll also note we had the link to this here. As soon as this recording is ready, we'll add this recording also on the bottom of this page. But so again, just find your regional team, and then on that page, although it doesn't show because I'm not signed in, there's a button up here that will say join team, and that's how you join the regional team. And so it looks like we've got 17 members of North America thus far, with we're starting to get some observations coming in. So
very exciting.
I think Kevin got a jump start on it.
I did. I cheated. But it's great to see other people have taken observations of soccer fields / football fields already. That's really neat.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see which region wins the Globe Cup.
Absolutely.
I guess we could say that if someone sets up their site at a soccer field, football field, they could go back and do the temperature more than one day.
That would be really interesting to do.
Right, or more than one time during the day. So you're not restricted to just taking the temperature once.
Yeah, it's a great point.
That was really amazing, the difference that you showed, Kevin, on the turf field. Because in some of the satellite images that I've looked at, the turf fields can be hotter than parking lots, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I found that too. At the University of Toledo, we have 2 turf fields. We have a soccer and an American football, and they are hotter than the parking lots. Asphalt. It's amazing.
Wow.
Here, I got logged in, so I can show you what the button will look like. Now, you won't see necessarily the managed team down below because I have some extra powers on the Globe website, Observer website. But so this button is what you should look for, this join team, and it'll pop up. I think actually it'll just do it automatically. Yep, there we go. So I just joined the team, and there's that's what you'll see.
And just a quick question for the team. So if you're new to Globe, for example, would you like need to create an account, or how do you participate? You download the app, and do you have any tips for that?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, so you can download the Globe Observer app. It's free. You can get it. I will put that link in the chat here in a moment, but on the App Store or Google Play, you will need to create an account with an active email address. And then you will take the in-app training for land cover, and then you will have to take the online training for air temperature and surface temperature. The land cover training should only take a few minutes. It takes, I would say, about 5 minutes if you go through the whole thing. And then the air temperature and surface temperature trainings are probably maybe a touch longer. They'll teach you how to calibrate the thermometer in that ice slurry, like Kevin showed us, and then how to set it up so that you get accurate measurements, and then how to collect the surface temperature data. So you have those instructions to help you feel confident and ready to go collect data. But once you've done those things, that little bit of preparation, then you're ready to collect data anytime. So to participate, go join your region's team on the challenge page. We have that in the link in the chat. Or you can get to that information from globe.gov or observer.globe.gov. Either website will get you there. And then from there, open the Globe Observer app and take your observations. And you do not have to be a soccer player, football player to do this. You can just show us where people do like to play that sport. I know that that sport is played in many different locations. One of my favorite stories about my grandmother is she told me that she liked to play soccer in the street in front of her house when she lived in the Netherlands. And the boys only let her play because she was the one that had the soccer ball. So I love that story about her. So wherever you play or people around you play soccer, we'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely, Holly. I was going to say, even like, I mean, obviously the World Cup is there's 48 countries that qualified, and it's a long process that lasts many years, and so it's something exciting every 4 years, kind of like the Olympics. And so if your team didn't make it this time, maybe the next time around they will. But if you don't play soccer or do anybody who wants to participate. No, I mean the main thing I wanted to say is good luck to all the teams, but remember to have fun as well, getting out there and making measurements and contributing to NASA science is it should be fun. And so thanks for your participation.
Yeah. For our last question, Sarah asks in the chat, does the winner get a trophy? And I'm going to tell you, you get something even better. So when you collect your land cover observation, we will send you in your email a satellite data for that location. So you will see a Landsat image, a Sentinel image, which is they're very similar sensors. and the land cover classification data from MODIS. So you'll get that in your inbox alongside your observation. So you'll get a personalized land cover or Landsat satellite image of your site, and that data will be from the one that's closest in time, or from the overpass, the satellite overpass that's closest in time to the observation you collected. So if you want something from the same time, same day, we do have in the app a way to, you can click view satellite overpass. There's a little satellite icon. I'm trying to open it up to show you. There's a little satellite icon there at the bottom. You can click to see, there you go, to see right down here at the bottom, to see when the satellites will be overhead, and you can time your observation for when that satellite is there. All right, any last questions before we wrap up? Leanna, great point. We are working to get to 2 million satellite matches by 2027, and we're getting close. I think we're at just over 1.7 million. So this challenge will help push us to that 2 million. Yes, there is a hand up. Mohammed, go ahead.
Welcome for all team. I'm so happy this time. I am all the member for Globe before approximately 10 years. So I'm glad to see you all team today. Also, I'm so happy. I would like to. I am looking forward to watching football in the United States of America. But when seeing all team, I'm sure I'm now in the United States, but now I'm in Bahrain. I am a member student. I'm a member for all students in Ministry of Education in Bahrain. So I make many projects about the globe world around the. I have approximately 5 projects and have many certificates for your globe. I'm so happy to become one of your team in United States. I'm too offered for about making studies in the land, temperatures, everything about the World Cup. Oh my God, I am so happy to see all now. What a lucky day! What a nice time to see you now. Because when I see you or team, I am now in the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for joining today. I'm excited to see all the good things coming out of Bahrain as a result of you being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Mohammed. So what kind of fields do your kids play soccer in Bahrain? I would imagine it's very hot for the grass.
Oh yeah, very, very hot. Temperature approximately it's nearing to 45 degree. Oh, with AC, it must be in the home. Yes. I wish I could I go to for United States next time and see your team in Washington DC before many many meetings conference of Globe 30 years. I don't have any chance, but maybe at any time coming and see you with my good feeling for all team, and I'm so happy to see you our team for Globe as World Globe in United States of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I do not see any other hands or questions in the chat, so I'm going to wrap this up for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoy the Globe Cup. I hope that you enjoy the World Cup, and we will see you here next time. Keep an eye on the Globe website and the Observer website to learn about our next Globe Observer Connect, and to see when we have our follow-up on the challenge, and also track and see how the challenge is going. Thank you again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.